Hi, I'm Arlith. People always tell me I work too hard, but someone's got to pay the bills, right? It's not like Marcus is going to suddenly develop a work ethic after 5 years of marriage. I balanced my coffee mug on top of a stack of medical billing files I'd brought home. Another late night ahead. My coworker Tina leaned against my cubicle, concern etched across her face. "Girl, you look exhausted," Tina said, tapping her long nails against my desk. "Third night this week you're taking work home? When do you rest?" I shrugged. "When the bills are paid? Besides, Marcus needs the car tomorrow for job interviews." "Job interviews?" Tina raised an eyebrow. "Arlith, how many job interviews has he had this year?" "He's trying, Tina. The economy's tough right now." "Mm-hmm. And I'm Beyoncé." Tina crossed her arms. "You're working yourself to death. You've lost weight, you're getting those migraines again, and now you're coming down with something. Meanwhile, what's he doing all day?" "He's networking, making connections. These things take time." "Networking from the couch with a beer and a PlayStation controller?" Tina's voice softened. "I'm worried about you." I sneezed into a tissue. "I'm fine, just a little cold." My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. "Can you pick up dinner? Nothing in fridge." Tina peered at my screen. "Nothing in the fridge he couldn't cook himself, you mean?" "He's not good at cooking," I defended weakly. "He's not good at anything that requires effort," Tina muttered. "You deserve better." "Marriage isn't about deserving, it's about commitment." "Commitment goes both ways, honey." Later that evening at home, Marcus barely looked up from his game when I walked in with takeout and files. "You're late," he remarked, pausing his controller. "I've been starving." I set the food on the coffee table. I had to finish the Peterson account. "Always working," he sighed dramatically, as though my dedication was an inconvenience to him. "You know what your problem is? You don't know how to relax." "Someone has to be responsible," I muttered. "What's that supposed to mean?" His eyes narrowed. "Nothing, just tired." I pushed food toward him. "Eat before it gets cold." "That's another thing," he continued, ignoring my attempt to change the subject. "You're always sick or tired. It's like living with a zombie." "I wonder why," I said under my breath. He didn't hear me, already focused back on his game. "Hey, I need to borrow some cash tomorrow. Meeting some contacts for lunch? There's money in the account." "I need cash. 200 should do it." $200 for lunch? I wanted to question it, but knew from experience it would only lead to an argument I was too exhausted to have. The next day, I dragged myself onto the bus, too exhausted to drive. The files felt like lead in my lap, my head pounded, and my throat scratched with each breath. A middle-aged woman sat beside me. "You look like you could use this," she said, offering me a tissue packet. "Thanks," I croaked, introducing myself. "Darlene," she replied. "Working late or bringing work home?" "Both, actually. Every day this week." Darlene nodded knowingly. "Been there? Worked 2 jobs while my ex-husband found himself? Turned out he was finding himself in our neighbor's bed." I coughed awkwardly. "My husband's just between jobs." "How long between?" "About 3 years," I admitted. "Honey, that's not between jobs. That's a lifestyle choice." Darlene's voice was kind but firm. "My sister worked herself into pneumonia supporting her deadbeat husband. By the time she realized he was draining their accounts for gambling, she was too sick to fight back. Marcus wouldn't—" "Look at your stop," Darlene interrupted, pointing out the window. I glanced up to see Marcus, who was supposedly home, walking out of a bar with a woman I'd never seen before. His arm was around her waist, and he was laughing in a way I hadn't seen in months. "Is that your husband?" Darlene asked. I couldn't speak. As the bus lurched forward, I watched them walk to my car, the one I paid for, and drive away. "Networking, huh?" Darlene said softly. I clutched my files tighter, feeling something shift inside me. The fever that burned my skin was nothing compared to the fire now igniting in my chest. "He said what?" Tina's voice echoed through the break room the next morning. That he was helping Victor's sister get home safely. My voice was flat. At midnight, in my car, with his hand on her waist. And you believe that? Tina demanded. I didn't say I believed it, I replied, stirring my tea. I said that's what he told me. Our coworker James joined us, dropping into a chair. Who told you what? Marcus claims he was being a gentleman, helping some woman get home, Tina explained. James whistled. That's what my cousin told his wife. Turned out he was helping half the waitresses at Applebee's. It's not like that, I insisted. But I checked our bank account this morning. $200 withdrawn yesterday. When I asked about it, he got defensive. Red flag, James said, biting into his sandwich. Crimson flag, Tina corrected. Stadium-sized. My phone buzzed again. Marcus. Need $50 for gas. He needs money for gas now? Tina peered over my shoulder. In the car he took to help another woman? I should call Victor, I mused. If it was really his sister. Brilliant, Tina interrupted. Call him now. With shaking hands, I dialed. Victor answered on the fourth ring. Hey, Victor, quick question. Was Marcus helping your sister the other night? A pause. My sister? My sister lives in Ohio. My stomach dropped. So yesterday when Marcus said, Look, Arleth. Victor's voice lowered. I'm not getting involved in whatever's going on, but my sister hasn't visited in 2 years. I gotta go. I hung up, my face burning. That lying, Tina began. I need to know more, I interrupted. I need proof before I confront him. You know who you should talk to? James suggested. Danielle from accounting. Her husband worked with Marcus at that place last year. 20 minutes later, Danielle sat across from me in the cafeteria, looking uncomfortable. I wasn't going to say anything, she began, fidgeting with her salad. It's not my business. Please, Danielle, I urged. I need to know. She sighed. My husband Steve saw Marcus at Riverside Apartments a few times, with different women. He thought maybe you two had an arrangement? We don't, I said flatly. That's what I told Steve, she replied. Look, there's something else. At the company Christmas party, Marcus was hitting on Steve's sister pretty hard. Said he was single, just wore a ring because it helped with networking. I felt the blood drain from my face. He said he was single? I'm so sorry, Arleth. Danielle reached for my hand. Steve wanted to tell you, but I said we shouldn't interfere. That evening, I met with Tina and her cousin Derek, who worked as a private investigator. It's not expensive, Derek explained, his voice calm and professional. Just basic surveillance. Phone records, bank statements, and a few days of following. If there's nothing going on, you'll know. And if there is? I asked. Derek exchanged looks with Tina. Then you'll have evidence for whatever you decide to do next. What would you do? I asked Tina. I'd destroy him, she said without hesitation. Legally, of course. Marcus always said I was paranoid, I whispered, that I was imagining things. That's called gaslighting, Derek said gently. Classic manipulation tactic. What if I'm wrong? What if there's an explanation? Then no harm done, Derek assured me. But Arleth, in my experience, when someone's gut says something's wrong, it usually is. A week later, Derek arrived at my workplace with a folder. His expression was grim. It's bad? I asked. See for yourself, he replied, sliding the folder across the table. Inside were photos. Marcus with different women. Marcus using my credit card to buy jewelry. Bank statements showing thousands withdrawn. And most damning, documents showing a lease for an apartment I knew nothing about. He has another place? I whispered. In Westview, Derek confirmed. Paid for with your joint account. I closed my eyes, feeling strangely calm. Thank you, Derek. What will you do now? Tina asked, squeezing my hand. I looked at my friends, my voice steadier than it had been in years. I'm going to have a conversation with my husband. I arranged to meet Marcus at a cafe, neutral territory. He arrived late, looking annoyed at being inconvenienced. Why couldn't we just talk at home? He complained, sliding into the booth. Because what I have to say requires witnesses, I replied, nodding toward the barista who waved at me. Marcus frowned. What's that supposed to mean? I slid the folder across the table. Open it. What is this? Some kind of game? But his smirk faded as he flipped through the contents. His face paled, then flushed red. You had me followed? Are you crazy? That's your response? I'm crazy? My voice remained calm. Not an explanation for the apartment in Westview? Or the jewelry you bought Jennifer last week? You're invading my privacy, he hissed, looking around nervously. Privacy? In a marriage where I pay for everything? I leaned forward. You've been living a double life on my dime, Marcus. It's not what it looks like. It looks like you've been using me for years, I interrupted. Working me to exhaustion while you enjoy the fruits of my labor? Baby, listen. His tone shifted to pleading. I made some mistakes, but I love you. Those women meant nothing. And the apartment? He hesitated. Investment property. I was going to surprise you. With Jennifer living in it? I asked. That's some surprise. His face hardened. Fine. You want the truth? I was suffocating. You're always working, always tired, always sick. Because I'm supporting 2 households, apparently. A couple at the next table exchanged glances, clearly listening. You shouldn't air our dirty laundry in public, Marcus whispered angrily. Why not? You've been living your entire life in public while I worked in the dark, I replied, my voice steady but loud enough for others to hear. 5 years, Marcus. 5 years of lies. Lower your voice, he hissed. Why? Afraid someone might hear who you really are? I challenged. The real Marcus, who tells women he's single while his wife works 60-hour weeks to pay his bills. An older gentleman from the next table leaned over. Everything okay here, miss? Mind your business, old man, Marcus snapped. Sir, I'd watch your tone, the man replied calmly. My wife is the manager here. As if on cue, a stern-faced woman approached our table. Is there a problem? No problem, I said. I was just telling my husband that I'm filing for divorce. Marcus's face contorted. This is fixable, he insisted, reaching for my hand. I'll end things with Jennifer. I'll get a real job. I'll do better, I swear. For a moment, I almost believed him. Then I remembered Darlene's words on the bus. I'm filing for divorce, I said quietly, and I've frozen our joint accounts. Marcus's face transformed. You can't do that. That's my money, too. Money you earned how, exactly? You vindictive bitch. He slammed his fist on the table, causing nearby customers to turn. You think you can just cut me off? After everything I've done for you? What have you done for me, Marcus? Name one thing. He stood abruptly, knocking over his chair. You'll regret this. Nobody will ever want you. You're nothing without me. Sir, I need you to calm down. The manager approached, concern on her face. Stay out of this, Marcus shouted, grabbing my arm. She's my wife. Let go, I said firmly. Or what? He sneered. Or I'll press charges for assault, I replied. There are witnesses, and the cafe has cameras. Marcus looked around, suddenly aware of the phones recording him. His grip loosened. This isn't over, he whispered menacingly. Actually, it is, I said, as 2 police officers entered the cafe. Officer Reyes, thank you for coming so quickly. Marcus backed away. What is this? Miss Arleth called earlier with concerns about her safety, Officer Reyes explained. Seems her concerns were valid. You set me up, Marcus sputtered. No, you set yourself up, I replied. Every decision led you here. As the officers escorted him out, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. For the first time in years, I could breathe freely. The restraining order has been granted, my attorney Sarah explained 6 weeks later. And with the financial evidence we gathered, the judge agreed to freeze all assets pending the divorce proceedings. I nodded, still processing how quickly my life had changed. What about the apartment? Since it was purchased with marital funds that you earned and without your knowledge, the court views it as financial misconduct. Sarah explained. It will be considered in the asset division, likely in your favor. What about the credit card debt? I asked, thinking about the statements I'd discovered. We've filed to have those considered dissipation of marital assets, Sarah replied. The judge was particularly interested in the pattern of withdrawals coinciding with purchases for other women. In plain English? Tina asked. Sarah smiled. He'll likely be responsible for those debts himself, not Arleth. Tina squeezed my hand. Told you this would work out. Officer Reyes joined us outside the courthouse. Miss Arleth, I wanted to update you. We've charged your husband with misdemeanor assault for the cafe incident, and we're investigating the financial improprieties. Will he go to jail? I asked. For the assault, community service is more likely for a first offense. For the financial issues, it depends on what else we find, Officer Reyes explained. But the paper trail isn't looking good for him. We found evidence he was applying for loans in your name, Sarah added. The DA is considering identity theft charges. I felt dizzy. How deep does this go? Financial infidelity often runs deeper than the romantic kind, Sarah said gently. But we're untangling it all. Later that afternoon, my phone rang. Marcus, calling from an unknown number. Arleth, please, his voice cracked. I've lost everything. My girlfriend kicked me out when she learned about the others. I need to come home. It's not your home anymore, I replied. And you're violating the restraining order by calling me? I've changed, he insisted. These weeks without you showed me what I threw away. I'll get help, I'll work, I'll do anything. Please. Oh, like you promised before? And the time before that? I shook my head, though he couldn't see it. No, Marcus, I don't believe you anymore. Just one chance, he begged. For 5 years of marriage. 5 years of lies, I corrected. I have to go. Don't call again. I hung up, blocking the new number. That weekend, I met Darlene, my bus ride confidant, for coffee. She'd become something of a mentor to me. How are you feeling? She asked. Lighter, I admitted, and healthier. The doctor says my chronic stress was making me sick. Freedom will do that, Darlene smiled. My sister finally left her husband too. She's dating a kindergarten teacher now. I'm not ready to date, I said quickly. Of course not. But you're ready to live? Darlene pointed out. New apartment, promotion at work, and you haven't brought files home in weeks. I'm learning boundaries, I agreed. Any regrets? She asked. I considered this carefully. Just one, that I didn't open my eyes sooner. My phone buzzed. A text from Tina. Victor called. Marcus is telling everyone you fabricated everything. I showed Darlene the message. See? He's still lying. But now it doesn't affect you, she reminded me. That's the difference. I smiled, realizing she was right. His lies no longer had power over me. The next time Marcus appeared in court, I sat confidently as the judge ordered restitution for the funds he'd misappropriated. When he tried to approach me afterward, Officer Reyes stepped between us. Not another step, she warned him. Marcus's face twisted with hatred. This isn't justice. No, I agreed, meeting his gaze steadily. Justice would be you working yourself sick for years while someone else enjoys the benefits. This is just the beginning of consequences. 3 months later, I ran into Jennifer, the woman from the apartment, at a grocery store. I recognized her from Derek's photos. You're Arleth, she said, looking uncomfortable. I didn't know he was married. Not at first. I believe you, I said, surprised to find I meant it. He's still trying to get back with both of us, she said with a bitter laugh. Texting me about how you ruined his life while promising you he's changed. Classic Marcus, I replied. Always working all the angles. Except now he's actually working, Jennifer remarked. At my brother's car wash. Minimum wage. We shared a knowing look that somehow bridged the awkwardness between us. As I walked away, Tina at my side, I felt no satisfaction in his downfall. Only relief at my escape. You know what I wonder sometimes? I said to Tina. How many other women are out there right now, working themselves to exhaustion for someone who doesn't deserve it? How many need someone to open their eyes on a bus ride home? What about you, reader? Ever had a moment that made you see your relationship clearly? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life dramas.